It was a dreary, rain-soaked afternoon when the phone rang at exactly 2:17 p.m. My hands shook uncontrollably as I answered, a dark premonition gripping my heart. A cold, emotionless voice delivered the blow. "Ms. Olivia Bennett, there's been a fatal accident. Your husband Michael didn't survive. Your son Ethan is in critical condition at St. Mary's Hospital." The words hit me like a physical force. My heart pounded painfully, each beat a reminder of the nightmare unfolding. Tears blurred my vision, streaming down my cheeks in hot, relentless rivers. My mind was a whirlwind of disbelief and agony, the world crumbling around me. In a desperate bid for solace, I called my mother, my voice breaking. "Mom, Michael's gone, and Ethan, I need you, please." But her response was a dagger to my soul. "Olivia, I'm in the middle of your cousin's birthday party at Aunt Susan's. Can't this wait until later?" The indifference in her voice shattered what little strength I had left. I was alone, drowning in a sea of grief and betrayal. If my story has moved you, please take a moment to share where you're watching from and how it made you feel in the comments below. Your words are a lifeline in this storm. I met Michael in our final year at Northwestern University, in the hush of the library where dreams were whispered over textbooks. I was wrestling with a finance equation when he slid into the seat beside me, his warm brown eyes catching the light. "Need a hand?" he asked, his voice a soft balm. That was how it began. Two souls finding each other amid late-night study sessions, his laughter a melody that made the world feel safe. We fell into a rhythm, meeting between classes at a little bench under an oak tree, or lingering over coffee at a shop with chipped mugs and endless conversations. 3 years later, we married beneath a golden autumn sky, leaves drifting like confetti as I walked to him. His eyes shimmered with tears, and I knew our life together would be a masterpiece. Our first home was a 3-bedroom haven, its garden a promise of future laughter. We planted roses and dreamed of children chasing butterflies. But that dream faltered. 3 miscarriages carved hollows in my heart. Each loss left me crumbling, yet Michael was my anchor. "We're enough," he'd say, holding me tight until Ethan arrived, a miracle with his father's eyes and my stubborn chin. Ethan filled our days with light. Saturday mornings were pancake battles, Michael flipping them high while Ethan giggled, syrup-sticky fingers reaching for more. Evenings brought blanket forts, Michael's architect hands crafting kingdoms where we'd snuggle, fairy lights casting a glow over our stories. Ethan grew fast, his mind sharp. At 8, he checkmated Michael in chess, a victory that left us beaming with pride and wonder. Those years were golden, a tapestry of love woven through quiet moments. Michael sketching in the garden, Ethan's chatter, the warmth of our little family. I see it now with a distant ache. How perfect it was, how fleeting. It was a day like any other. Michael was preparing to take Ethan to his swimming competition, their laughter echoing through the house as they tossed goggles and towels into a duffel bag. I lingered in the kitchen, the scent of toast still warm in the air, watching them through the window. Everything felt right, ordinary, safe. Then my phone jolted to life, its ring slicing through the calm like a blade. My eyes caught the unknown number, and a cold dread twisted in my gut. I didn't want to answer. I couldn't. But my hand moved anyway, shaking as I pressed it to my ear. A voice, flat and unfeeling, cut through. "Mrs. Bennett, there's been an accident. A drunk truck driver ran a red light on Route 12 and struck your husband's car. Michael didn't make it. Ethan's in critical condition at St. Mary's." The room tilted. My breath stopped, trapped somewhere deep inside. Michael? Gone? The words didn't fit together. They couldn't. I slid to the floor, the phone clattering beside me, its screen glowing faintly in the dimness. This wasn't real. It couldn't be. I don't know how I reached the hospital. The ICU loomed before me, cold, sterile, reeking of antiseptic. The lights glared down, white and merciless, stinging my eyes. Machines beeped in a rhythm that mocked life itself. I stepped forward, each movement heavy, as if wading through water. There he was, Michael, still, too still. His face was pale, lips faintly blue, hands icy under my touch. I collapsed onto him, my sobs breaking free despite the weight pressing them down. "Please, Michael," I whispered, voice cracking. "Don't leave us. Ethan needs you. I need you. Wake up." But the silence answered instead, vast and unyielding. Ethan was somewhere here, clinging to life, and I had to be strong. But how? My heart lay shattered on that cold bed, and the pieces wouldn't fit back together. The sterile scent of the hospital clung to my clothes, a constant reminder of the nightmare I was living. I clutched my phone, dialing my parents' number with shaking hands. "Mom, please, I need you here. Ethan's in critical condition, and I—" My voice cracked, but my mother's response was like ice. "We're celebrating Matthew's birthday, darling. It's a big day for him. Surely you can handle this on your own." The call ended, leaving me hollow, the silence of the room pressing in on me. Their indifference was a wound deeper than I could bear. My own family, choosing a party over their grandson's fight for life. Then, like a lifeline, Megan appeared. Her face was etched with worry, but her embrace was warm and steady. "I came as soon as I heard," she said, her voice a soothing balm. She took charge, bringing me coffee that I barely tasted, making calls to family and friends, and sitting with me through the long, dark hours. Her presence was a beacon in the storm, a reminder that I wasn't alone. Megan didn't need to say much. Her hand in mine spoke volumes. She was the sister I chose, the one who showed up when blood ties failed. Dr. Lawrence, with his gentle eyes and steady hands, became a source of comfort. "We're monitoring Ethan closely," he said, his voice calm and reassuring. "He's a fighter." Nurses Sophia and Daniel moved with quiet efficiency, their kindness shining through in every action. The way Sophia adjusted Ethan's blanket with a mother's tenderness, or how Daniel brought me a chair to sit closer to the bed, his smile soft and encouraging. In their care, I found a fragile sense of hope, a belief that maybe, just maybe, Ethan would pull through. Hours blurred into each other, my world reduced to the rise and fall of Ethan's chest. Then, in the dim light of dawn, a flicker, a tiny movement of his fingers. My heart leaped, and I leaned closer, tears spilling over. "Ethan, can you hear me?" I whispered, my voice trembling with hope. It was a small sign, but in that moment it was everything. A single tear traced down my cheek, not just from grief, but from the faintest glimmer of light in the darkness. The hospital's fluorescent lights cast a harsh glow on the linoleum floor as I dialed my parents' number. "Ethan's condition has improved," I said, my voice steady despite the knot in my stomach. "And we've received a significant compensation from the accident." There was a pause. Then my mother's voice, suddenly warm and eager. "Oh, darling, that's wonderful news. We'll be there as soon as we can." They arrived that afternoon, their faces etched with concern. But as they gathered in the hallway outside Ethan's room, I overheard their hushed conversation. "We should talk to her about the money," my father whispered. "It's only fair that the family shares in it," my mother agreed. Matthew nodded, his eyes gleaming with something that wasn't concern. My heart pounded in my chest, a mix of anger and betrayal. They weren't here for Ethan. They were here for the money. I couldn't let this slide. I grabbed 2 photos from my purse, one of Michael, his face peaceful in death, and one of Ethan, his small body dwarfed by the machines keeping him alive. I stepped into the hallway, my hands trembling with rage. "Is this what you want to share?" I demanded, my voice sharp as a blade. I thrust the photos at them, forcing them to look. "This is your family. This is what matters." My mother's face went pale, her hand flying to her mouth as if to stifle a sob. My father trembled, his eyes darting away, unable to meet mine. Matthew stood frozen, his eyes wide with shock and shame. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken guilt. In that moment, I saw them for who they truly were, not a family bound by love, but by greed. And I knew I would protect Ethan from them, no matter the cost. The hospital's sterile scent seemed to thicken, the beeping of machines a distant reminder of the life hanging in the balance. But in that hallway, a different battle was being fought, one of loyalty and betrayal. My resolve hardened. I would not let their selfishness touch Ethan's future. The hospital clock ticked past 2:47 p.m. on Saturday, May 31st, 2025. The faint hum of machinery filled Ethan's room, where Olivia sat, her hands clenched tight. Afternoon light streamed through the window, casting long shadows across the sterile floor. She'd just returned from a tense meeting with her family in the hospital cafeteria, their words still burning in her ears. Her mother had leaned across the table, eyes gleaming with entitlement. "Olivia, think of us. Matthew's business needs capital, and a vacation home would lift everyone's spirits. The compensation money could do that." Olivia's chest tightened, her voice a low growl. "You want to take Ethan's future, money meant to ease his pain, to secure his life, and pour it into Matthew's schemes and some beach house? You don't even see his suffering, or mine." Her father chimed in, his tone oily. "We're family, Olivia. We deserve a share. It's only fair." "Fair?" Olivia stood, her chair scraping loudly against the tile. "Family doesn't abandon each other in the darkest moments. I begged for your help when Ethan was rushed here, when Michael—" Her voice cracked, but she pressed on. "You didn't come. You didn't care. And now you dare claim what's his?" Matthew, slouched beside their parents, muttered, "I'm sorry, Liv. I didn't mean for it to get this far." Olivia's gaze snapped to him, cold and unrelenting. "You bowed your head and said nothing while they plotted. Your apology can't erase that betrayal. It's carved too deep." Her mother huffed, crossing her arms. "We'll fight for what's ours, Olivia." "Then fight!" Olivia shot back, her voice like iron. "But I'll protect this money with everything I have. It's for Ethan's care, his tomorrow. It's the last piece of Michael's love I can give him. You won't touch it." Silence fell, heavy and bitter. Olivia turned away, leaving them stewing in their greed. Back in Ethan's room, she sank beside his bed, brushing his small hand with her fingers. "I'll shield you, my heart," she whispered. "No one will take what's yours." The machines beeped steadily, a quiet echo of her resolve. Betrayal had hardened her, but resilience burned brighter. For Ethan, for Michael, she'd stand unyielding. The clock struck 5 p.m. on Saturday, May 31st, 2025. The hospital room buzzed with quiet urgency as Olivia typed furiously on her laptop, the glow illuminating her tired eyes. She'd just left Jeffrey's office, a haven of polished wood and city views. I found Jeffrey, a lawyer whose professionalism was matched only by his empathy for my pain. He'd gripped her hand firmly, promising a fight. "Olivia," he'd said, voice sharp and sure, We'll establish a trust fund for Ethan. It'll lock the compensation money tight, used only for his care, his future. Your family's selfishness won't touch it." His words cut through her fog of grief, igniting resolve. They moved fast. Papers flew across his desk, trust names, trustee picks, strict terms. Each step built a wall around Ethan's tomorrow. Yet the legal war was just one piece of her chaos. At the hospital, Ethan fought his own battle, his small body inching toward recovery. Olivia was there every spare second, reading aloud, her voice steady despite her fraying nerves. "You're my warrior," she'd murmur, clutching his hand, urging him on. Work wouldn't wait either. She balanced shifts, her laptop a lifeline in the dim room, hammering out reports as Ethan slept. Sleep was a luxury she couldn't afford. Too much hung in the balance. Her family struck back hard, contesting the trust with bitter accusations. "You're stealing from us," her sister spat over the phone. But Jeffrey dismantled their claims with cold precision. "They've got nothing," he told her. "We're solid." Megan remained her rock. She showed up with hot meals, sat with Ethan so Olivia could breathe, and listened as fears spilled out. "You're unstoppable," Megan said, her calm a lifeline in the dark. "Ethan's got the best mom." By 7:45 p.m., the sun sank, painting the city gold. Olivia sat by Ethan's bed, bone-tired but unyielding. His faint smile sparked something fierce in her chest. They were still standing, still pushing. One battle at a time, they'd rebuild. As the clock struck 8 p.m., the hospital room was bathed in a soft, golden light. Ethan's chest rose and fell steadily, his breathing a rhythmic reassurance. Suddenly, his fingers twitched and his eyes opened. "Mom?" he whispered, his voice weak but clear. Tears of joy streamed down my face as I clasped his hand. "I'm here, sweetheart. You're going to be okay." Just then, the door opened and Michael's parents stepped in. Their eyes widened at the sight of Ethan awake. "Oh, thank God!" his mother exclaimed, rushing to his side. "We've been so worried." His father placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. "You're not alone in this, Olivia. We're family, and we'll get through this together." Their words were a lifeline, pulling me from the depths of despair. With their support, I felt a renewed sense of strength. I knew I could face the challenges ahead. Each day brought new signs of Ethan's recovery. On Tuesday, he spoke his first full sentence since the accident. "I want ice cream." His voice was music to my ears, and I laughed through my tears as I promised him a lifetime supply. By Thursday, he was sitting up, his laughter filling the room as we played simple games. Every small step, eating on his own, squeezing my hand, was a victory, a miracle that reignited hope in my heart. Michael's parents were a constant presence. His mother, Sarah, brought homemade meals, insisting I eat properly. His father, John, took charge of the insurance paperwork, his steady hand guiding me through the maze of forms. And both of them took turns sitting with Ethan, their stories and songs a soothing backdrop to his healing. One evening, as Sarah braided my hair, a small act of care, I realized they had become my new anchor, their love a bridge to a future I could almost see. With their support, I found the courage to start working again. My boss was understanding, allowing me to work remotely. I set up a makeshift office in the corner of Ethan's room, my laptop perched on a tray table. Between meetings, I read to Ethan or helped him with his physical therapy exercises. The rhythm of work and caregiving became my new normal, a delicate balance that kept me grounded. One evening, as I closed my laptop after a long day, I looked at Ethan sleeping peacefully. A wave of gratitude washed over me. We had come so far, and I knew we could face whatever lay ahead. With each challenge, I discovered a reservoir of strength I never knew I had. And with each victory, no matter how small, hope grew stronger. We were not just surviving. We were thriving, one step at a time. Betrayal from those we love cuts deep, leaving scars that linger long after the wound has healed. It's a pain that teaches us the harshest lessons about trust and loyalty. But in the darkness of betrayal, we often find the light of true family. They are the ones who stand by us when the world seems to crumble, offering a hand to hold and a shoulder to lean on. For me, it was my in-laws and my dear friend Megan who became my pillars of strength. With their support, Ethan and I are forging a new path. It's not easy, but each day brings us closer to healing. We're learning to trust again, to love without fear, and to build a family rooted in sincerity and compassion. Every small step Ethan takes toward recovery is a victory, and every moment we spend together, laughing or simply being, is a testament to the love that binds us. As we look to the future, I see a horizon filled with possibilities. Ethan will grow, and so will I. We'll face challenges, but we'll face them together, armed with the lessons we've learned and the love that surrounds us. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal? How did you find the strength to move forward? Share your story in the comments below. Your words might be the light someone else needs. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more tales of resilience and hope. Remember, no matter how fierce the storm, your inner strength and the hope you carry will always be your guiding stars.